व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We will now start Vedanta Darshana or Brahmasutra or Uttarmimamsa or Shariraka Sutra. These are the different names, titles referring to the same text. This is considered to be the last book to be studied in Vedanta Shastra, which is including all aspects of the science of Vedanta. There are many Sanskrit commentaries on this text, such as the Shariraka Bhashya of Bhagwan Shankaracharya, then Sri Bhashya of Sri Ramanujacharya, then Anubhashya written by Sri Vallabhacharya Maharaj, then Sri Nimbarka Bhashya, then Sri Bhaskaracharya Bhashya, then Brahmananda Deepika, and Sri Vijnana Bhikshukruta Bhashya, similarly Acharya Sri Ramananda Kruta Vyakhya, and many more. These names are only few of them. The scheme of our study of the Brahmasutra will not be the one wherein we go according to the Shankara Bhashya as we have done in case of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Here our attempt will be to cover all the 555 sutras and to develop an overall vision of what is given in this great text. It is very essential for every student of Vedanta to study the Shankaracharya's commentary on these Brahmasutras. However, we will give only the overall vision, Vihangam Drishti, what is presented in these sutras and what are the subjects which are dealt with. So, we will have a vision about what is said in Brahmasutras. Normally, in the course of studies, the first 4 sutras, they are taught, what is called as Chatussutri. And on the basis of these Chatussutras, Bhagwan Shankaracharya's Adhyasa Bhashya is one of the most beautiful exposition, and he has explained the total Vedanta philosophy as presented in our scriptures on the basis of these 4 sutras. So, we will not go according to that Bhashya word by word, because it is not possible within the remaining period or time at our disposal. Therefore, my main idea is to present before you a vision of what is said in the Brahmasutras. The more of it you can study on your own, when you will have at least no fear to open the book. Normally, the moment when we say Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran and two huge thick things are kept in front of you, then you understand why many people do puja of Bhagavat Mahapuran. That is the only thing which can be conveniently done. So they tie it down properly. By mistake, we should not get an idea to study. And apply chandan, kumkum and all that. By that all the papers, the words are erased. This is how it is conveniently done, because seeing the volume of the contents in that great text. Similarly, when we take the Brahmasutras, we have seen in case of Narada Bhakti Sutra, there are only 84. Then in case of Panini Sutra, there are also not too many. They are within 200 or within 200. And when we come to this, it becomes such a big volume. So, sutras are very small. Only one word or two words. Like Shastra Yonitvat, only one word. And all that, when we will read the commentary, you will read the commentary. I am not going to read. And then we will see that a lot of information is contained. Therefore, let us see what is presented in this whole text. This Brahmasutra is divided into 4 chapters. They are called as Adhyaya, and each chapter is further divided in 4 sub-chapters or topics. They are called as Pada. So 4 Adhyaya multiplied by 4 Pada. So in 16 headings, the whole topic is discussed. Now on this, we will see many commentaries. They will comment on why only 4 was used. Why Bhagavan Vedavyasa did not use the 3? Why not 9? Why only 4? Naturally, they will justify. Because Chatushpada Atma, the 4 stages of consciousness, and in this manner, here also, we will use some kind of logical interpretation and full Krutakritya. I think we have interpreted properly. So, what are the 4 Adhyaya? The first one. The first chapter mainly presents that the only purpose of all the Upanishadic statements is only talking about the reality. So, every statement ultimately is pointing to the reality. So, every statement is one way or the other connected with the reality, and this is called as Anvaya. And therefore, this is the first chapter is called as Samanvaya Adhyaya. Like, there will be many kinds of contradictions in the statements. One Upanishad says this way, the other says the other way. But the seeming contradictions are talking about the one and the same reality. This is presented in the first chapter. Therefore, this is called as Samanvaya Adhyaya. Then, in the second chapter, the possible contradictions are negated. and therefore the negation of the possible contradictions is called as avirodha. That means there is no difference in the knowledge presented by the seemingly contradictory statements. There is no virodha. Therefore, it is called as avirodha adhyaya, second chapter. Then, in the third chapter, the attainment of this Brahma Jnana or Brahma Tattva, for that we require a lot of sadhana to be done. So, whatever is the sadhana, upasana, etc., that becomes the part of Brahma Vidya. And therefore, the various kinds of upasanas, worship, meditations, contemplations, are dealt with in the third chapter, and that is why the third chapter is called as Sadhana Adhyaya. First one is Anvaya Adhyaya, second one is Avirodha Adhyaya, third is Sadhana Adhyaya. And as a result of this sadhana, as the seeker is progressing on the path of his self-unfoldment, what are the results that he gets and what is the ultimate that he gets. So the phala, the results, and therefore the fourth chapter is called as Phaladhyaya. In this manner, the total topics discussed are: one, Samanvaya Adhyaya, second is Avirodha Adhyaya, third is Sadhana Adhyaya, and fourth is Phaladhyaya. In this manner, the whole scheme of Brahmasutra is presented in 4 adhyayas of the chapters. Now here, what is said in this whole Brahmasutra, this will tell you point by point as presented in this book. And there are totally 24 main topics. That doesn't mean others are not main, but for our understanding, 24 topics are exhaustively presented, proved in and through different sutras from different adhyaya and the path. First topic dealt with. This world, it is available to us through the pratyaksha pramana. What is the pratyaksha pramana? Jnanendriyas. So the world which is available to us through the pratyaksha pramana is of 2 kinds. One is jada and second is chetana. So, like I see in front of me both jada and chetana. You can accept whatever you belong to. So, the whole world is jada chetanatmaka. This is how the world is available to us through pratyaksha pramana. And the truth presented about the world is that Brahma is the abhinna nimitta upadan karan, the one without the second material and efficient cause of this world. This is the first thing presented as the foundation of the total thought process development in Brahmasutra. So, how we start our inquiry about the reality of Brahman? Only from our experiences. In deep sleep, we don't start any inquiry. Because there others inquire why he is not waking up. So, we start our inquiry about the reality only when we come in contact with the world. Therefore, this pratyaksha upalabdha jada chetanatmak jagat, this world of animate and inanimate things and beings, perceived through the sense organs, is nothing but the Parabrahma Paramatma, who is simultaneously the material and efficient cause of this world. First, this is presented in the second sutra of the first chapter, first part, Sri Krishna. Then, second point, like in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has said that there are two prakritis of mind, apara and para prakriti. So, these para are chetanatmika, jiva bhuta prakriti, and apara parivartanshila jadatmika. These are the two prakritis of the Brahman. And they are his own powers, shaktis, potentialities. And because the jada and the chetana prakritis are that of the Brahman, therefore who is the Brahman? Brahman is the dharmi, jada and chetana, these are his shakti or the dharma. And therefore they are abhinna, not different from the Brahman. So they are abhinna. And then this Brahman is the support, gives validity and existence to these prakritis or these two shaktis. And therefore there is a very peculiar relationship. What is the relationship? That these jada and chetanatmika prakriti of Brahman, they are his powers and he is powerful. And therefore they are separate from him. Unless they are separate, how can we talk about them? But at the same time, they cannot exist independent of these Parabrahma. Independently they cannot exist. Therefore they cannot be considered as separate. Then what is the conclusion? Conclusion is we can neither call these para apara prakriti as bhinna or abhinna. This is how the Maya is described in Vivek Chudamani. That bhinna api abhinna, abhinna api bhinna, ubhayatmikana. So both way you can say. And this Parabrahma is then what? The Parabrahma is absolutely other than this Jada Chetanatmika Prakritis. Now, this thought we have seen in our 15th chapter. Yasmat Sharamati Toham Jada Prakriti Aksharadapi Chottamaha Chetanatmika Prakriti Atosti Loke Vedecha Pratitaha Purushottamaha. So the Parabrahma is Uttama, far beyond the limitations of Jada and Chetanatmika Prakriti. This is the second important principle presented here. Then the third one. This Parabrahma Parameshwara, along with his own independent free will and these two Shaktis, Jada Prakriti and the Chetanatmika Prakriti, creates the world. And at the time of dissolution, both Jada and Chetanatmika, both Prakritis are withdrawn, absorbed at the time of final deluge. And in this manner, the whole world comes out of Paramatma. It is maintained in this Paramatma and it goes back to Paramatma. On this topic, there will be a lot of discussion. We will see when the sutras come. So this is the third important topic which is brought up. Then, this Paramatma Tattva, Parabrahma, is Ashabdam Sparsam Anupamat Avagandavachayat So is beyond the attributes such as Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasagandha, without any specialities, therefore Nirvishesha, without the impact of three gunas, therefore Nirguna, and therefore without any particular form, therefore Nirakara. Although this is true, yet the same Paramatma, in association with his Trigunatvika Prakriti, takes the form, becomes Saguna Sakar, and becomes manifest in association with his own Prakriti. And in this manner, the Paramatma is available to us both Sopadhika as well as Nirupadhika. But essentially, the Supreme Reality or the Brahman has nothing to do with the Upadhi. Then why this type? Because we are not able to comprehend the Nirupadhika Brahma. Therefore, the Brahma is brought to our notice through the Upadhis with which we are familiar. And therefore, the truth is presented in this manner, although it is free from the limitations of the objectivity, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasagandha, any color, form, etc. And yet, it has the freedom to appear with all these attributes and yet remain beyond the limitations of the attributes. This is how it is said in the fourth place. Now, the fifth point. The totality of the jivas is the para-prakriti of Parabrahma. So this particular point which is there, when we go further, very deep and very beautiful. Understanding this will make a lot of points clear. All the doubts regarding anything will disappear. So the totality of the para-prakriti called a jiva samuha, all the jivas are nothing but the amsha of Paramatma. Therefore, mamai vamsho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana, amsha of Paramatma. And therefore, the jivas are abhinna, not apart from the Brahman. At the same time, the Parameshwara or the Paramatma is the controller and the governor of the karma phala and the transmigration of the jivas from one life to another life. And therefore the Parameshwara is also the Niyanta and the Swami, Antaryami and the controller. This is how the totality of jiva is presented in this Brahmasutra. Now here I will tell some point, although we will not discuss now, but when it does come, I will tell you. I am renewed. See, this point, please try to catch it. This will make all the difference in your all understanding. When, let us take, when an object is presented in opposition to a mirror, what happens? There is a reflection of that object in the mirror. Then we keep the second mirror. So we have the second mirror, there will be a second reflection. Then the third mirror, then the third reflection. How many mirrors? N mirrors. N is equal to infinite. So there will be so many reflections. Now each reflection is the amsha of that original object. Now, be very attentive. The reflection that we see in the mirror, number 1, and the reflection number 2, reflection number 3, suppose we have got 100 mirrors. Can we say that the possible number of reflections that can come out of the original object is only 100? No. How many they can be? They can be any number. And therefore, we cannot say that the summation of the known reflections is equal to the original object reflected. We cannot say that. Clear? If not clear, never mind. Then, what is the totality of all the reflections? Totality of the reflections will be that a phenomenon wherein when an object comes in front of a reflecting medium, reflection takes place. This phenomenon is including all the possible known and unknown reflections. But because of this, the original object which is reflected is not influenced. If this is clear, similarly, the Supreme Reality functioning through the conditionings of Upadhi expresses as Jiva number 1, Upadhi number 2, Jiva number 2, Upadhi number 3, Jiva number 3. So can we say that the totality of Jivas can be counted? No, it cannot be counted. What we can say? We can say there is a phenomenon wherein when the Supreme expresses through the conditioning, the Satta and the Chetana gets manifested. And this is a principle. And this principle becomes manifest in a particular situation. Now take another example to make this point clear. Like when electricity passes through the tube light or the bulb, it expresses as light. So can we say all the bulbs in the world put together is equal to electricity? No. Then what we have to say? What is therefore electric light? Electric light is a phenomenon which becomes manifest under a specific conditioning called as a bulb or a tube light. In the same manner, the Jiva is a phenomenon and they are not many, one only. The principle of magnetism is one. The principle of light is one. Think. And when it is manifesting through individual upadhis, it appears to be many. Similarly, the element fire is one. The expression of the element fire is light and heat. Now, light and heat, if there are 20 flames, that doesn't mean that there are 20 lights and 20 heats. There is only one. And therefore, when one flame dies, nothing happens either to the light or to the heat or to the fire. In this manner, this Jiva is Amsha of the Paramatma. And how this Amsha is? This is an Amsha of that which is without Amsha. Therefore, this is very beautiful thought in our scriptures. All the Jivas are the totality of the Paraprakriti. Therefore, Paraprakriti is the principle. And individual Jiva is the manifestation of that principle through a conditioning. Similarly, Apara Prakriti is a principle. And Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, the 5 Tanmatras, and the Manabuddhi Ahankara Ashtadha. These 8 things are the principle. And out of that, the various bodies which come out, Nanendriyas which come out, curvature which come out, they are the assembly. Therefore, in this world, nothing is destroyed, nothing is created. When the eyes become blind of a person, the vision doesn't disappear. When the hearing of a person disappears, others keep on hearing because the principle never dies. Therefore, Jiva Samudaya, the totality of the Jivas, is called as Paraprakriti, and this Paraprakriti is only one. Therefore, in the technical term, they call it as Eka Jivavad, not many. And this is what is all the sadhana indicated in our Mandukya Upanishad. There what we do, disidentify with the individual gross body and identify with the total gross body. So Sarvatmya Bhava sadhana is the first thing. Then disidentify from the gross and identify with the subtle, Hiranyagarbha. Thereafter, disidentify with the Hiranyagarbha and come to recognize the Ishwaratva. And thereafter, don't become arrogant about the Aishwarya. Malum hai Aishwarya hai. So then Upadhi becomes powerful and the Upadhi Yukta Purusha becomes subordinate. Therefore, when all this Aishwarya or the Animadi Siddhis, when they are not looked upon, then there is a possibility of merger with the Supreme Brahman. This is how the step by step sadhana indicates the various positions of the principles explained. Therefore, the totality of the Jivas is the Paraprakriti of the Brahman, therefore a part of it, Amsha. And from this point of view, the Paraprakriti is Abhinna, not different from the Parabrahma. And yet, this Parabrahma is being the controller, etc. of this Jiva's life. He is independent, bhinna from the tragedies and the happiness of the Jiva. In short, although Parabrahma is supporting the Para and the Apara Prakriti and all the modifications thereof, yet the Parabrahma is not influenced by any of the modifications of the Para and Apara Prakriti, just as the fire is not influenced by the burning power. Then the next one, sixth point is, the Jiva is Nitya. Now is it not? Can we say that the expression of electricity through the bulb was created by somebody? No. It was not known to us. Therefore, scientific discoveries, it was covered under the veil of ignorance. Now it has become discovered. Therefore, we know. Therefore, nothing is created in this world. When nothing is created, so Paramatma is not created, his Prakriti is not created, Apara or the Para. And therefore, Jivas are neither created nor they are destroyed. They are Nitya. Jiva is Nitya. This is how in the second chapter Bhagavan has taken this topic. That if you think that after the birth and death comes, death after death, birth comes. So it is natural, then what is the worry? Don't get worried. If you consider yourself to be Jiva, so you were earlier in other life, in other body, and now in this present body, hereafter you will be get in another body. So there is nothing to worry about. Very good, continue. You are not going to die. So whether we accept ourselves to be the body or the Jiva or the Atma, in any case, Nityatva is ever established. Therefore, Jiva is Nitya. This is presented in the second chapter. And the position of death and birth of the Jiva is in relation to his identification with the gross body and disidentification with the gross body. With the identification with the gross body, birth is declared. This identification with the gross body, death is declared. In fact, Jiva neither dies nor is born. Then the seventh point is the transmigration of the Jiva from one body to another body, from one field of experience to another field of experience, is also with reference to this Sharira, the body. So, when the Jiva is referred with reference to body, then alone he is going or coming. And this Jiva goes to the Brahmalok also through the Sukshma Deha. And this is how the Jiva is transmigrating from one body to another body. Then, the wise man, the Jnani Purusha, he who has discovered his essential self, meaning what? He has reached the abode of Paramatma, Paramadham. When the Jnani reaches Paramdham, thereafter he has no relationship and impact with the Prakruta Deha. Prakruta Deha, body created out of Prakriti. So his is only Chaitanya Deha, no Prakruta Deha. And therefore he is there with the Divya Deha. And this is what is called as the Muktavastha, or total emancipation, liberation or freedom. Then the next point, ninth one. When the Jiva is going from one lok to another lok, not in Brahmalok, when the Jiva is going from one lok to another lok, in that case he has freedom either to experience all the experiences by Sankalpa Matra or through the agency of the gross body. Like when we experience good or bad experiences in dream, that time our gross body is not involved. And when we have the experience of the waking world, that time the gross body is involved. So in the Karya Brahma, in the worlds which are the effects, Chaturdasha Bhuvanani, there the Jiva experiences various experiences, bhogas, either through the agency of the body or Sankalpa Matrena, only by the Sankalpa. 10th point, Jiva Gati is spoken of. Some of the Jivas, the wise, who are going by the Devayana Marga, by the Uttarayan Marga, they go to the Paramdham of the Parabrahma and they merge with the reality. Or some of them continue to exist as pure consciousness. So what is pure consciousness? Therefore, pure consciousness is the expression of the reality. Therefore, reality cannot be spoken of also as consciousness or inertness. So, some of the wise people, they merge with the Supreme and no more coming back. Some of them, they go up to the level of the expression of the Parabrahma as consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanya Matra, and keep themselves apart from the Supreme Reality. Then, the next one, those who are thus keeping themselves away in the Karya Brahma, so at the time of the Pralaya, the final deluge, they become one with the Brahman, and thus this is called as Krama Mukti. This is also one of the methods. Then, 12th point is, those who are going by Uttarayan Marga to the Brahmalok, for them, it is not necessary that they should die in the day or the night, or they should die in the Dakshinayar or the Uttarayan. It makes no difference. So those who are seeking the Parabrahma Paramatma, or those who are seeking merger with the Brahmalok, for them the limitations of Uttarayana death and Dakshinayan death, death during the daytime and the night time, they are equal. We have seen this topic in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Further, The doership associated with the jiva is only as long as he is identified with the gross body. Without identification with the gross body, the doership cannot happen, and therefore it is only aupacharik, it is only out of formality it is said that the jiva is doer. In 7th chapter of Panchadashi, where we have analyzed the one mantra from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there we have seen that Atmanam chet vijaniyat ayam asmiti purushaha kibichan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. When the purusha, the jiva, comes to recognize his essential self, can there be any doer? Can there be any enjoyer? Can there be any attachment for the gross body, etc.? Meaning, no. Therefore, the kartrutva bhimana, etc. is only a temporary phase as long as we have not understood the meaning of the jiva bhava. Till then only it is valid. Otherwise, it has no meaning. And whatever kartrutva bhiman is seen manifested in the jiva, it is also because of the Paramatma alone. Without the Paramatma, even the jiva cannot have kartrutva bhiman. Further, the 15th point, the jivatma is vibhu, is all pervasive. And therefore, his abidance or staying in one particular body is only as long as there is identification with that body. If you remember in our Vyasa Bhashya on Patanjali Yoga Darshan, this point we were studying, that jiva is vibhu, and some Mimamsakas they say it expands and contracts according to the body. But the Patanjali Yoga Darshankar say, no, the chitta or the jiva does not become contract or expand. It is the chitta vritti identification which creates expansion or the contraction. Similarly, now here please understand, the principle of manifestation of light through the bulb, when the power electricity goes through, is vibhu, is everywhere the same. It is not conditioned by any particular deshakala vastu. It's not that when it is somewhere on the top Himalayan peaks, there the temperature is -40. There, when the electricity goes through the bulb, there it creates the ice. No. The light principle remains the same. Therefore, vibhu doesn't mean all pervading in that sense. Meaning, this principle is never denied with reference to any criteria. Therefore, this jiva is also vibhu. Vibhu is the jivatma, and ekadeshitva, the presentation of the jiva in one particular body, is valid as long as there is body identification by that principle. So, the expression of electricity as light is vibhu, but expression in a particular bulb is called as 40 watts, 60 watts, 100 watts. So, the light does not have the watt power, as well as electricity does not have the watt power. It is the element through which, when the electricity is flowing, it creates a specific conditioning. Further, those great Mahatmas who are free from any kind of desire, and those who are extremely nishkama or aptakama, nishkama, free from desire, aptakama, those who have no possibility of any desire, for them the Brahma Prapti is here and now. It is not necessary for them to go to Brahma Loka and attain liberation. While very much in this world they attain liberation, who have no desire of any kind. But who those? Vidwan Mahapurush. Otherwise in deep sleep also we don't have desire. That will not lead to anywhere else. Therefore, discovery of the freedom from desire is possible only when we have discovered ourselves with the substratum of the totality, not otherwise. Then, 17th point, this Jnani Mahapurush, this wise man, for the benefit of the world, Loka Sangraha, he can be seen engaged in different kinds of karma. There is no rule that the Jnani should not engage in the karma. Otherwise, how can we justify Vasishtha Bhagwan was all the time busy in the karma kanda? Or Janak Raja, the great Videha king, he was busy in ruling the kingdom. Therefore, Loka Sangraham Evartham Sampashchan Kartum Arhasi. Keeping in view the Loka Sangraha, even the wise people also are seen to keep themselves engaged. Then, the 18th point, Brahmajnana can take place in all the 4 ashramas. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. Therefore, the sannyasis need not feel themselves to be someone extraordinary, that they are superior than anybody. In the Brahmanistha, there is no difference as regard this Upadhi Bheda. Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi is concerned. This can take place anytime, anywhere. This is how we come across many great saints and sages who are very much Grihasthas. They have lived the life of ordinary mortals, and yet they have reached the ultimate abode of their essential self. Therefore, all the ashramas have got the Brahma Vidya Adhikara. This is the meaning. Then, those who go to Brahmaloka, Parantakale, Paramrutat, Parimuchanti Sarve. So, there are these Chaturdasha Bhuvanas. In the different Bhuvanas, when the Jiva goes, after having experienced good or bad experiences according to the kind of punya he has acquired, then again they come back to the Mrityu Lok. But when one goes to Brahmalok, he stays there till that Brahmaji is valid, and when the Brahmaji absorbs Pralaya, his creation, then the Jiva merges along with the Brahmaji with the Supreme Reality. The Sanchita karma of, next point, the Sanchita karma of the Jnani Purusha, they are destroyed. So, how the Sanchita karma of Jnani Purushas are destroyed? Because when the Kartrutva Vimani has disappeared, who will be the owner of those karma? Nobody. And therefore, the Papa Punya Sanchita karma of the Jnani Purusha, they are destroyed. And the Agami karma, they cannot touch the wise man. Now what about the Prarabdha? Prarabdha karma is experienced and gone through by the wise man as long as the body is alive. And therefore, this wise man, he doesn't have necessarily to go to Brahmalok. He can attain freedom while very much in this world, or after the body is dropped, or he has the option to go to Brahmalok. Then, those who are now in the sadhana path, this is said, those who are the seekers of Brahma Vidya, for them it is very clearly emphasized that they should do their ashrama vihita karma, all the karma associated according to their varnashrama, with sincerity and with nishkama bhava, without any desire for getting out of this karma any karma phala. And then for them, shama, dhamma, ityadi, or the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, ityadi should be practiced without any compromise. When we thus keep ourselves busy in doing our sadhana, that time we should not have this mistaken understanding that karma is in any way a limb of Brahma Vidya. It is not. Brahma Vidya is absolutely independent of the karma. Therefore, Brahma Vidya is not the limb of the karma. Means what? Like Karma Kanda Vidya forms a part and parcel of the various karma. Then Upasana Vidya forms the part and parcel of the Upasana. How to do Upasana? In this manner, Brahma Vidya does not become part and parcel of any Karma Kanda. And 23rd point, it is through Brahma Jnana alone the truth is revealed. There is no other way. The only immediate Sakshat cause of the Brahma Jnana liberation or Paramatma Prapti is Brahma Jnana and none else. And the last and the most important point brought out is this world is never destroyed. The world remains unmanifest at the time of Pralaya. And again it becomes manifest in the next cycle of creation. Therefore, creation in our scriptures is not described as a straight line. When there was no creation, thereafter there was creation, and again there will be no creation. So in this manner, the creation is never accepted as a straight line phenomenon, but it is circular, like the principle of time. Time is also not a straight line phenomenon. Therefore, it is Kala Chakra. So it is called as the Srushti Chakra. So the creation and destruction is in fact not creation and destruction, but it is manifestation and unmanifestation. And thus, even in the Pralaya Kala, the whole world is existing in the form of unmanifest existence. In this manner, these are the main 24 topics dealt with in the Brahmasutra. This will take as we are able to progress, and then we will see how it goes. Now first we will do one thing. Today only we will read a few sutras, so that we have started reading the sutras, and thereafter I will take it from the next class. Om Sri Paramatmane Namaha. Now we will read the first sutra. Athato Brahma Jidnyasa Janmadyasya Yataha Shastrayo Nitvat Tattu Samanvayat Ikshaterna Shabdam Gaunaschennatma Shabdad Tannishthasya Mokshopadeshat Heyatva Vachanachya Swapyayat Gati Samanyam Shrutatvacha Anandamayobhyasad Vikara Shabdan Neti Chenna Prachuryat Tadhetu Vyapadeshacha Mantra Varnikamevacha Giyate Netaro Nupapattehe Bheda Vyapadeshacha Kamacha Na Anumanapeksha अस्मिन्नस्य च तद्योगं शास्ति अस्मिन्नस्य च तद्योगं शास्ति अन्तः तद्धर्मोपदेशात् भेदव्यपदेशाच्च अन्यः आकाशः तल्लिङ्गात् अत एव प्राणः ज्योतिश्चरणाभिधानान् छन्दोभिधानान्नेति चेन्न तथा चेतोर्पण निगदात् तथा हि दर्शनम् भूतादिपाद व्यपदेश उपपत्तेश्चैवम्. Now, in this panel, we have read few sutras of the first chapter and the first pad. While discussing these sutras, we will take the meaning of the sutra and try to connect what is achieved, and with a little bit of thought discussion, we will go ahead so that we should be able to complete as early as possible. Now I conclude here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.